Hi, my name is Jeanette Sanchez, and today I'm going to show you how I did my multicolor screen print for edition 6, and this is for my printmaking class, Arts 2333, section 4. For the materials I'm going to be using today for edition 6, I'm going to be using an 11x14 mixed media paper, a screen printing unit with your ready print screen, a squeegee, 1-inch packaging tape, 2 ink colors. In my case, I'm going to be using orange and blue, a spatula, or any type of unused card to spread the ink on the board. Also, don't forget to put aside any rags and sponges for after we're done printing our edition 6 and we need to clean off any ink off the screen. So first, we're gonna add our tape to our board, and as you can see here, I have the tape, and we're gonna put the first pieces of tape on the borders of the wooden board as well as 1 inch apart from the image. Now, as you can see, the pieces of tape are on the side of the board, and this is to protect any ink to get on the board. After we're done taping, it should look a little bit like this, and it should be very even. So now we're gonna register our board, so when we print our image, it comes out centered on our paper. So as I'm lifting up the board, as you can see, I did already register it to my image, but how I did it, I put the board down, and as you can see, it's a bit transparent, so it makes it easier to see like if I'm doing it in like the right place. And what I like to do is I like to take a ruler and I like to measure each side to make sure that they're all even. So I would say for mine it was about like a 1.5 inches for each side, more or less. And that's what I do for every side to make sure that it's even and centered as possible. And I do use masking tape on the board so I know where I can put the paper for each print. So now we're going to print our first color for our edition, and the color I chose to do for the background, I chose to do a color orange. And so I'm going to screw it, and I'm going to use an expired card that I cut up into a small piece to be able to spread the ink evenly. So try to get a good amount on the card and make sure you put the ink on the tape rather than on the image, because if you do put it on the image, the ink will go through the image and ink the paper without printing the image, and it's just not going to look great. So yeah, just spread it as evenly as possible. So now that I have my ink evenly distributed on the tape, you're going to grab your squeegee and you're going to lift the board at a 45-degree angle, and you're going to put your squeegee at a 45-degree angle as well. And when you go down with the ink, try to do it as evenly as possible and do not put a lot of force. So once you get your squeegee, you're gonna get it and try to get like as much ink to try to like evenly distribute on the paper. And then once you put it down, try to make sure all the spots are covered in ink, and then now you're gonna use a lot of force and go up until you reach the end of the board. After you lift the board up, you could grab your print, and this is my first print. So because this is my first print, some of the ink did not get into as much in the paper as much as I wanted it to, but you could still continue to do more prints so you could get a well-defined picture. Now to print our second color, I'm going to be using the color blue and making sure that the board is taped up and we have the registering correct. We're going to do what we did on the first side. So we're going to spread the ink evenly on the tape. Now that we have the ink on the tape, we are going to lift the board up at a 45-degree angle like last time, and we're going to get the squeegee and we're going to evenly distribute the ink to the page. So as you can see, I did have a little bit trouble trying to evenly distribute the ink, but you could go over it a few times just so that everything is covered. After printing the blue color, now I have my final print. And as you can see, the color is pretty spot on. So if you do see white lines, it is pretty normal. Just make sure that your blue lines do align with the image. So I'm going to properly show you how to sign your edition. So you do need a number 2 pencil and just a number 2 pencil. And you're going to write down what print this was out of all the prints you did. So this was my second print out of all the 3 prints I did. The title and your signature. And you're all set, and this is the final print. To clean the squeegee, just get your spatula or your card and just try to get all the excess ink out of the squeegee. Now with the spatula or card, try to get all the excess ink out of the tape and off the board. Now with a bowl of water and a sponge, try to wipe out any excess ink off the stencil and the board. Try to do this repeatedly front and back until all the ink is out. Now with the rag, just wipe everything clean off the board, and if there is still some ink, just go over with the sponge again. Once you're done fully cleaning your board, you can now take it out of the screen unit and let it dry. So you can use it again. and this is how it should look. After this, you're all set, and now you're done printing edition 6.